All right, guys, we are back with another great episode of Basscast Radio. You guys, it's just me, Brian, your host tonight. Hope you guys are all doing out there in radio land and had a great weekend. I know the Basscast.com did. Excuse me. We spent the weekend in Kerr Lake with the Anglers Choice Team Tournament Trail. Congratulations to everyone, but I say. Lots of great content, lots of great stuff we put up on the website. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, let's go over it really quick for you guys. Congratulations first to Saturday's winner, William Hubbard and Mr. Jeff Newman. By the way, guys, this is Jeff's first ever Anglers Choice Team Tournament Drill event. So happy and very congratulations to him. Also, Mr. Penhollow and his son on Saturday caught a 6.76. If you guys haven't had a chance to go over there and listen to the interview, I think over 100 people have already listened to that interview alone. There's a bunch of other interviews on there, but their owner interview is on there as well, talking about how they caught that giant bass on Kerr Lake. Sunday, man, another giant bass showed up. Ryan and Wayne Mace, they caught that, weighing 6.92 pounds. And then congratulations to Eddie Four and Ryan Atkins on the win on Sunday. Excuse me. So that's where the Basscast.com was. Like I said, great weekend. If you guys have not had the opportunity to head down to Clarksville, Virginia lately, I stayed at one of the newer hotel behind McDonald's. I think it's Efficiency Inn, but that place looks great. They've done an awesome job in it. I know across the street as well. If you guys Google it, both hotels are on there. But accommodations are coming along at Kerr Lake. So if you ask me, I think you can now take your kids and your family there. Plus, they also opened up a microbrewery as well. They don't make it, but I think they serve it. So another great reason to head down to Kerr Lake, enjoy the lake, and enjoy some time with friends. So that's what we did right here at the Basscast.com. Also, we dropped it last night. Let's talk fantasy fishing with Kyle Jesse. I appreciate him coming on again and talking to us about, it's going to be a big one. And it's not going to be, hopefully weights are going to be a big one. Lake Chickamauga. You guys all know, and you guys all heard, the lake is low. Some people like it, some people don't like it, but it's going to be an interesting tournament that will be starting tomorrow. And that's when we drop our podcast on Thursday. So good luck to everyone that has been playing fantasy fishing with the Basscast.com. This weekend, guys, we will be back at our home lake, Smith Mountain Lake, for, I want to say that's the Piedmont division. So we look forward to being there. It's pretty cool. Back-to-back BFLs, knocked them out both weekends. And then if nothing changes, we are going to be heading north to the James River for the Northern Open, and then back here for the Big Bass Tour. And then at the end of the month is stop number 1 for the Basscast.com. A lot of you guys have already started to sign up. We appreciate that. Don't forget to fill out all your paperwork. You don't have to prepay at all. But if you do, that's how your boat's numbers get put into the computer. But you have to fill out your mandatory release for you and your partner online at the Basscast.com. Just click 2022 tournament schedule for the Basscast, and everything is there that you need to make this event happen. So tonight we haven't done a college kids in quite a while. We have the East Texas Baptist University tournament young men who won the national championship. Yeah, you guys heard it right here. Let's get their names real quick. I wrote it down. Gosh, so bad tonight. Kaden Proffitt and Cason we have it right here. Cason Ragsdale. Got it. So yeah, congratulations to them. And they had, pretty nice 5 bass limit to win 14 pounds, 1 ounce. And that's the final day. We're going to go over the whole thing for you guys. We'll be right back with the boys, the men from East Texas Baptist University. All right, guys, we are back with the East Texas Baptist University duo of Mr. Cason Ragsdale and Kaden Proffitt. Congratulations on your win, man. Welcome to the show. Appreciate having you guys on.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's start off with this. Proffitt, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
So I've grown up fishing my whole life. I grew up going to school in Mount Vernon, Texas. I live in Pittsburgh, Texas, and fished in high school and got a scholarship at East Texas Baptist University, and that's where I am now.
You guys actually give scholarships for fishing, don't you?
So it's not technically a university scholarship, but through our sponsors, we're able to get. It's more like a grant. I would say.
All right, Ragsdale.
So it's kind of funny. We grew up 15 minutes from each other, never knew each other, competed against each other in high school, knew each other's names, but never met. And then we both got recruited to ETBU and just started fishing together, and it worked. So it's kind of cool that we competed in high school against each other and never knew. But I'm from Winsboro, so it's 15 minutes down the road from where he lives. I fished in high school, kind of been fishing outdoorsy my whole life. So, this kind of just fit in. Didn't really play a ton of sports, so this was kind of fit in with my competitive nature of something I could do in college and then after school.
All right, so get back to the little recruiting thing here. How many people do they actually, recruit, give a grant?
So right now we have, I think, 17 guys on the team. And
wow.
We have a pretty decent sized class of freshmen in this next semester. I think 5 to 7. I'm not sure of an exact number.
Holy.
But it's because we've got so many seniors leaving.
Okay.
You have to, you kind of have to have that buffer.
Yeah.
You can't have 10 leaving and 4 coming in. It just doesn't
But that's still pretty big, man.
Yes, sir.
For a college fishing team. I mean, that's pretty
awesome.
That's pretty freaking awesome. Because I think like Bethel University, what's the other school that
they have pretty big teams because it's not as fully so we each have like our own boat to use each team. So the school provides. So Bethel, they use their own stuff. So they have a bigger team, but I think we're more of a tight knit, smaller university. So
I know where Randy Howellson went, I want to say.
I don't know where did he go?
Do you know?
He's not. I'm not sure where he went.
Okay, for some reason I thought he went there because I was at the Bassmaster Classic like 2 years ago, and he made his announcement at the Classic where he'd be going. So I think that's where he ended up going. All right, so leading up to this event, you guys both said you've been fishing a very, very long time. Is there any moment before this huge freaking win right here, a national championship, that you guys could remember that's one of your aha moments?
Man, I guess, last season. So we both.
It could be something you didn't do with him. It could be by yourself.
Oh no, it was definitely together last season. We both, I'm sure, have all kinds of different stories about just from pretty much from beginning to end last season. Just things kept going wrong. We were always around fish every tournament. We were around the fish to either win or at least do really well. And we kept losing fish. We'd lose a 7 to 9 pounder every tournament, it seemed like.
Wow.
And we kept falling just outside of the cut of qualifying for a national championship. And we were like, man, we have literally been around the fish to win almost all of these tournaments. And here we are, not even qualified. And we're going into the last qualifier of the year on Dardanelle last October.
Okay.
And we're like, man, we got to make something happen at this tournament. And it seems like, I don't know what we did any different really other than mindset. We just we went into it thinking, man, we are going to qualify in this tournament. Not like, man, I hope we do, but we didn't have a choice. Like we had to. If we didn't qualify at this tournament, then it's kind of hard to win a national championship. Not there. So we really worked our butts off in practice that week, and we got on a little bit of something, not just a crazy good bite, but it was an area that seemed to have a good number of fish in it. We were like, man, we can catch a couple of 3.5 pounders, which on Dardanelle, especially in the fall on Dardanelle, I mean, that's a good fish.
Right.
Seen a few of them in practice, and everything just kind of fell into place that day. And we ended up weighing in 14 something in that tournament.
Wow.
Third, qualifying for the national championship. And that was kind of the moment we were both like, okay, things finally came together. We found the fish and we caught them in one tournament. We can do this. And we've kind of been rolling pretty good ever since. So
we kept that mindset. He was talking about mindset at Dardanelle of just, we're going to get it done this tournament. And then this season, we've kind of run with that, like he was saying, because we had a tournament at Chickamauga, the MLF Open, and day one, we had one fish for 3 pounds.
Oh, wow.
That's all right. And it's the conditions are bad. I think we were 118th place.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And so then we went back out and we kept the same mindset. I mean, we knew we were way out of it, but we wanted to do well. And we kept the mindset of, stick to what we know and make something happen. And we ended up losing a couple good fish, but we had a really good bag. And we moved up 100 places to 18th place for day 2.
Holy crap.
For next year's national championship. So,
wow.
And then
that's awesome.
The Harris chain and came in 7th for the Bassmaster series. So it's just, keeping that mindset that we had last year of, okay, we can't keep losing fish if we want to qualify for stuff. So
did you change hook companies?
No, I think a lot of it was our fault. I mean, really, I think
we told ourselves going into the tournament, we're going to lose fish this tournament. We're,
wow.
something wrong. And then we kind of just turned it around and said, hey, we're going to catch what we're going to catch. Let's go and get it done. And just kind of stuck with that.
Why do you believe that you two make a great partnership?
We kind of pick up where the other one lacks. So a good example is he likes throwing a buzzbait, but he doesn't commit to it for if there's a bite that'll happen after an hour of throwing it. So he'll be throwing something else and I'll keep something locked in my hand, and say with the buzzbait, after an hour, I start catching fish and that ends up being our deal. Well, he would have never found that because he doesn't lock that in his hand. Not that it's not a bait he doesn't want to throw. He just,
right.
Or stuff like that. If he's doing something fast, I go in there with something that'll follow his bait and give a different presentation to the fish so that we're always working together to build something for the next day or for the next hour or for the next fish.
Proffitt, what do you believe is your strongest strength when you're out on the water? What do you bring to the plate? There you go.
Hair.
Yeah.
Besides the hair.
Now, I mean, I love throwing a jackhammer. And so it seems like pretty much every turn, and I'm not stubborn with it. And I'm not going to say, okay, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to catch them on a jackhammer. But I have enough confidence in that bait that it's what I like to use to find fish. I feel like I can cover water with it. And so I feel like really, especially recently, covering water and covering productive water is my biggest strength. Instead of slowing down, getting distracted. I think that's what I used to do. Maybe both of us, we used to just get distracted by things that, oh, well, this could work and this could work and this could work. Well, I mean, anything could work, but focusing on the most productive areas and covering as much of that as we can to pick apart what's happening in a lake.
Ragsdale, you?
Probably just being able to, everyone on the team, they kind of joke with me because I'll throw stuff that they get confused. Like, what are you even doing? And then it works. It's one of those things where I'm not afraid to tie something on and just throw it because I think it should work. It might not be what it says on the internet is what's supposed to work, but it's what it's like that gut feeling. I think it's going to work. So I'm confident with it. And we'll go. And we've had a couple of tournaments that we've caught key fish off of me throwing a bait that's kind of off the wall, which I don't know if that's luck or just me being overconfident with it, and fish can feel that. I don't know. But
all right. So, with you guys having you guys have your team, they supply you as a boat, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, with the new electronics now, everybody's the forward facing sonar, and, we got the down scan, the side scan, the up scan. I mean, you see everything except for the moon, I think now, because you can see everything on it. You guys are young. It's a lot of the old guys don't really want to mess with it. And a lot of guys around here don't want to mess with it because of the cost. But what do they supply you guys? I mean, what is it? What's our college rig look like?
We have Humminbirds we have a Helix 12 at the console.
Okay.
And a Helix 9 at the bow, and we do have a Garmin 1022 with live scope at the front. But I think this goes for both of us. I would not consider myself a scoper.
Okay.
Like, I love live scope, and I have found a way that I feel like I can use it to suit the way I fish. I haven't changed the way I fish to fit live scope. I've just figured out how to incorporate live scope into the way I fish. So you will rarely see us out chasing a group of 3 fish around the middle of a drain, throwing a jerkbait at them on live scope.
Okay.
But if you keep a camera on me all day, you'll see me looking down at live scope about 80% of the time, because I use it just to see what's around, see cover above me. And actually at Chickamauga, that tournament he was talking about, I caught a 6.5 pounder on day 2.
Ooh.
Going down the bank, and I just happened to look down to turn the trolling motor, and about 10 feet in front of us on the bottom, there was a big blob, and I saw a tail kick, and I was like, that's a good fish, whatever it is. I don't know if it's a bass, but I just had a chatterbait in my hand, flipped it over there. It fell right next to it. I hopped it up in its face and ate it. And it was that 6.5 pounder.
Holy cow. So you said, Proffitt, you said about being on the trolling motor. Do you guys take turns doing that, or one of you guys will be like, I'm on the trolling motor today?
It's kind of just situational. So
okay,
it doesn't really have a set role who does what. Like he'll drive the boat a lot of the time. Just because, I mean, we've kind of thought he's got more experience in driving the boats or driving boats than I do. So we both run boats all the time. Both are able to do it, but I mean, it's just kind of a choice so that we're not running. We kind of know our roles. So we're running down
that's what I wanted to know,
off the trolling motor. And it's not, well, are you going to drive? Well, I'm going to drive. We just know that. And when he's doing that, I'm on Google Earth on my phone, looking for stuff or looking at, I mean, I'm always being productive.
That was my next question about that. The young guys, the old guys, I mean, I'll be honest, we still pull the maps, and look at the maps, being with the new technology we have today and, all of, like you said, the Google maps and, heck, I got Lowrance on my phone. I mean, you can download the Lowrance app and it's awesome. I mean, it's great. I actually took it out on the water because they asked me to do it, and about a week after, and I was watching speeds. I mean, it worked great. So how do you guys go about breaking down a lake that you've never been to?
So I do a lot of Google Earth study leading up to it. And the biggest thing I've found with it is I very rarely end up finding fish on the waypoints that I put on Google Earth. Like I go around and mark rock piles that I see when the lake was low, or a log, or a creek swing, or I mean, just stuff that looks different on Google Earth. But what I think it really helps me with, especially like I noticed this a lot at Fort Gibson, we didn't catch a fish anywhere I put a waypoint on Google Earth, and I probably had 900 waypoints.
Good gosh.
But it made me feel like I was familiar with the lake. Like I knew I could relate, like, okay, I put a waypoint here, there was a dock over here, and then there was a big rock over here, and then this was between them. So like I'm like, okay, I know where I am. And I saw this over here when I was on the map. Like it kind of makes me feel like I've been there.
Right.
You can make a lot more decisions, because we did that talking during the tournament. We just look at each other and be like, hey, let's go hit that. In our conversation, since we fish well together and we talk all the time, we understand how each other works. We're like, hey, let's go hit that one cut up the river. And we just knew what we were talking about. And we did that actually day 3, and that's where our kicker fish came on. We hadn't seen it in practice or the tournament. We saw it just on the maps, and we were like, hey, let's go hit that one thing up there. And we both, you look at each other and say, all right, let's do it.
That's awesome.
It just works well together.
That's cool. So going into this event of Fort Gibson, how does practice go for the college series? Do you guys get a day? You guys get 2 days?
We usually get 2 or 3. For this one, they gave us a full day, and then we had daylight till 10 in the morning one day, which is like a 2-hour or 2.5-hour practice, because we had to go to Tulsa for meetings and Red Crest.
Oh,
Had another full day the next day. So we got 2.5 or 2.25 days roughly for this one.
wow. Pretty good. Ain't as good as what you wanted, but
No.
it paid off.
Yeah.
All right, so let's. I forgot to ask you guys one question real quick. What are you? Are you juniors, seniors, sophomore?
Both seniors.
You're both seniors.
Yes, sir.
All right. So wow, what a way to end your seniors year here, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, you'll see us again because we're both coming. Hopefully, you'll see us again. We're both coming back to get our masters, so we'll continue fishing through that.
That's awesome. Congratulations to you. I got one getting ready to go into college next year. That's all I say. All right. So let's talk about the event. It was a wire-to-wire event for you guys. You ended the event 43 pounds, 8 ounces, $33,500 in prize package. Now, what did that include?
It was a Phoenix 518 boat and some Yeti coolers, and that was about it.
That was the prize package.
Yeah, that was the prize.
And then there was the cash.
And then from through the Costa Compete and Conserve program, we got a $2,500 contingency prize.
Where'd the boat go? To the school?
Yes, sir. The school will get the boat.
And it comes back to the program.
Anything, yeah, well, that's what I figured. Since they gave you,
they pour in so
practically
much stuff.
practically free college for you two.
Right.
They got the boat back to help out with the next generation here. All right, so quickly break down the event for us, man.
So day one, we went out there, and the wind was ridiculous.
Wind was ridiculous everywhere that weekend.
It was 30, 35 mile an hour winds, and some of our stuff that we had found with the way because they were dropping the water and the water levels, and then the water temperature was fluctuating up and down, and some of the fish we had found were out in the mouths or out on points and stuff out in the wind. And we just kind of looked at each other and said, if we want to win this thing, we're going to have to work for it. It's not going to just be an easy whatever. So we went out there and we braced the wind. I mean, we were having waves coming over the bow, waves coming over by the boat. I mean, we were, had our knees bent so we didn't blow over, lost our hats in the wind a couple of times. I mean, it was intense, but we actually, it's one of those things we kind of knew that something was going right when every fish, no matter if we barely felt it bite or had it doing something crazy at the boat, we always netted it. And it was one of those, this is weird. Why is everything working?
Like everything went right. I don't know.
We only lost fish?
With no lost fish the whole tournament.
Uh-oh.
We only caught 5 day 1, 4 day 2, and then we caught 6 keepers on day 3. So we didn't just catch a ton of fish, and it was 2 hours in between bites. It was brutal. But day 1, we're only leading by an ounce. So it's not
right.
It wasn't anything that we were going into it like, man, we got something rolling. We were just thinking, okay, we're competing. Mm-hmm. We just happen to be the ones on top.
What were some of the things that we were concentrating on throughout the event? What were you guys looking for?
So the fish definitely were getting ready to go spawn. And I honestly think, because at the first day, or at the beginning of the tournament, first day, the water temperature got up close to 60, and but it was falling. So they wanted to move up, but the water was falling and
they had nowhere to go.
It was such a confusing assortment of conditions, I guess. Like everything, all the conditions clashed, it seemed like. So I figure, if anything, the fish are probably going to stay put close to their pre-spawn stuff, just because everything was fluctuating. So we focused on points and transition banks and stuff out towards the mouths of spawning areas, or just even some like halfway up in creeks, just places where the fish can sit and hold and the water wasn't going to fall away from them, but they were close to deep water.
Were they kind of out of the wind?
No.
Not really.
day there really was no out of the wind.
Okay.
I mean, like, it was blowing so hard, and you know how it'll just swirl down in there, and
Oh yeah.
So no, I think that if they had their choice, they'd have been out of the wind. But if as bad as it was day one, it really wasn't an option to do that.
Were we practicing each and every day, or were we
100%?
100%?
Every day.
You know, we've heard a couple of people say it, and it's 100. I mean, crazy true about that. You know, leading all 3 days of the tournament, we led 3 different tournaments because the conditions were so different and everything was changing. And that's one thing that we've always kind of been good at, is being consistent, and that played a lot for us because, you know, we went out there and tried to catch the best that we could for the day. We didn't try to force a pattern. We didn't try to do what we did in practice. We just stuck our heads, you know, just stuck with what we knew and wished how we wanted to.
So how did you want to? What were the key baits we were using?
Felt like we always do. I mean, in every tournament you see kind of the same stuff on our deck because we're confident in it. Jackhammer, jig, Texas rig, square bill, different crankbaits. I mean, we had an arrangement of different sizes, colors, actions, everything, but all in that category.
Okay. All right. Well, there's the tournament breakdown. Like I said, I mean, it was, like you said, it's a different day each and every day. You know, we got a Bassmaster Elite event coming up. I got it. I don't know why I have to keep looking at my notes, but Lake Chickamauga, and that lake is low, and the water temperature is low, is in the 60s as well. So it's going to be quite an interesting event this weekend there. Definitely. So, but I don't know about the weather wise, but I know here, well, yeah, it's 70 degrees here, and it's probably warm down there as well because it's not but a few hours away. It's in Tennessee. Ain't about a few hours away, and then we're supposed to get a cold front come through and drop down to 50 degrees.
That's about how that always works. If you look at our college series, every tournament we've had has been ideal conditions the week before, and then it's like, okay, let's make the worst possible fishing conditions we can come up with for these college guys. And it's been pretty consistent on getting that to us.
Yeah.
But I mean, day 3, one thing that was crazy, and we've talked about mindset and focus.
Yes.
You know, day 3, we're leading going into the final day, but we only had 4 fish. So we knew it could come down to, oh no, we lost by a 14-inch keeper.
Wow. That
we couldn't catch. And because somebody else caught more or had 15 fish. And then, you know, mindset, we didn't have a fish until 10:30.
Holy cow.
All day. And we've got camera boats and drones and all this stuff flying around us. You know, you're leading the tournament. We had all this pressure. And we just kind of looked at each other. We're like, let's not let it bother us. We're going to catch what we need to catch. We're going to go do what what our instincts say. And I mean, that's what we did. And we made a call, an hour before check-in, 2 hours before check-in. And just, I mean, stuck with it. There's one where the camera boat was on us. It's a couple of cool pictures that are on MLF's page that we caught 3 fish back to back to back.
Oh, wow.
Off of one spot. And I mean, it's that mindset of we're going to run 50 spots, but one of them might have 3 fish on it.
Yeah.
It's just, you got to keep your head in it.
What was the biggest takeaway from this event for you two? Something that you guys learned? Was it the mindset or was it something else?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing, I mean, it sounds really broad, but I think just the fact that we did win it really showed me that, like, hey, we can win. Like, we can be the best in a 3-day tournament against the best college guys in the country. Like, if we can win the national championship, then we can win any college event. So
right.
It's that, I guess, the confidence booster that we legitimately can win.
All right, men, what's the rest of this 2022 look like for you two?
We've got a tournament coming up for it's the CBTT, the College Bass of Texas. We've got a couple of those coming up, and we're going to watch. Some of our freshmen are doing really well in that series. So, you know, go and support them. And, you know, we're going to compete in that too. And then we've got Michigan. We're going to Saginaw Bay in June. And then we go Logan Martin in June on that same trip. We've got the AFTCO National Championship at Pickwick.
Okay.
And if I guess technically the last MLF conference tournament for this season is November at Lake of the Pines.
Okay.
Which is 20 minutes from here. So we're hoping to do well there.
Dang, in your backyard.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Before we leave, man, plug your sponsors or social media or anything of that nature that you like to plug, where people can follow you, follow the school, the team.
I don't know if you can see our jerseys. I mean, we're obviously Skeeter is huge help to us. They give us, the opportunity to go out on these tournaments with the boats and provide what we need to be able to compete. Dobbins Rods helps us a lot. If you look at any of those pictures, that's all we throw because we're confident.
And then we have some of the smaller, I guess, more local sponsors would be, we have Hendricks Rentals. It's a heavy machine company out of Livingston, Texas. And one of their guys that was on our team a year or two ago.
That's awesome.
So we're pretty good friends with him, and just a great family, a good company out of Livingston. And then Symmetry Turf out of Mount Pleasant, Texas. They do turf stuff. They're a big help. We couldn't do a lot of what we do without them.
All right. What's your Instagram and Facebook handles?
Mine's just Cason Ragsdale, at Cason Ragsdale.
And mine's Kaden.Proffitt.Fishing.
All right, man. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking about this event. Congratulations on the national championship win. And good luck the rest of 2022.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, man, that was an awesome podcast. Two awesome dudes from East Texas Baptist University, Kaden Proffitt and Cason Ragsdale. Want to appreciate them for coming on and talking with us tonight. Congratulations. I mean, a national championship. They won a school, a brand new boat, some money to go along with it. So, I mean, and a lot of bass fishing left for them to do. At the end of it, we talked about it, they really want to, they're all be business majors and they really would like to professionally fish. So, I mean, they can do it. They in the right place. Texas, big old bass. And they always say everything is bigger in Texas. So congratulations to them. That's it, man. Want to appreciate them coming on talking to us. Don't forget, let's talk fantasy fishing. If you haven't listened to our podcast, if you want to even go back like a podcast before, John Cox, it was a great show. Take a listen to it. You can watch it or you can listen to it driving down the road. The cool thing about Let's Talk Fantasy Fishing, it is a little bit longer than Basscast Radio. I mean, it's shorter than Basscast Radio, and that's what we wanted. We wanted it to be something where, we help you make picks, whether you're playing with the Basscast Fantasy or you're playing with another group. It doesn't really matter. Kyle, Jesse, me, and the rest of others, fine guests like Bruce Callis came on. We just want to talk about fantasy fishing, help you make better picks. So check it all out. And guys, don't forget, April the 30th is the next the first. Keep forgetting we had to cancel the first one. Is the first Basscast tournament series of the 2022 season. For you guys who are fishing the kayak series with us, the 16th is the next one on Leesville Lake. And this coming weekend is the second event of Hill City Bass Masters on Leesville Lake. So check everything out. Head to thebasscast.com. And by the way, sign up for our newsletter so that way you stay informed with what is happening right here. If you don't want to be on social media, that's cool. Hit the MailChimp button. Put in your email address, your name, and we send out a bi-weekly email. That way you do not miss a thing on what is taking place right here at thebasscast.com and Basscast Radio. Have a great night, everyone. Appreciate you listening. We'll be talking to you soon.